Hi, this is Nancy Neill, and I wanted to tell you briefly about my current exhibition at the Muse Gallery called Balancing Act. The work is about finding a balance or a rhythm in each individual work when using a variety of somewhat competing or contrasting elements, such as lights versus dark colors, a variety of shapes, some of which are very large and some are very small. I'm combining drawing and painting in each work. And in some cases, there's color versus a more black and white type of work. So the challenge is trying to find a composition that works when using these types of competing elements. Let me tell you what I like about the work. That might be the most helpful to have you understand what it is I'm trying to achieve. The first thing I really like about the work is that it has a very strong sense of movement or rhythm. I think the varying colors and shapes and the drawing really provides a great deal of energy and movement in the work. To me, at least, it's very rhythmic. Some of the pieces actually remind me very much of music, or at least that's what I see in them. And I really like that about the pieces. The second thing I really like is drawing. I really like sort of the individual mark-making process. I mean, it's kind of scribbly and graffiti-like. It reminds me of what you might see on buildings or old walls or on the ground with graffiti, where some of the marks are really pushed back. They're very faded and others are on top. So there's sort of a sense of depth or space or time that can be created in some of it. I'm also largely using circles. I mean, I guess I'd say that very loosely. The marks are somewhat circular, which to me represent really happier times, sort of balloons or floating or parties. So to me, the circle is a very happy mark. I'm also trying to make each mark very individual. So you'll see a variety of sort of larger marks, smaller marks. Some are more faded, some are very dark. And some, kind of stop in different places and then continue. So there's a lot of attention to the marks, even though they look very sort of random and scribbly. But each one is really done with intention and very individual. The third thing I really like, or especially in the more collage-based pieces, are the shapes. I really got into a variety of shapes. Some are large and some are small, but they're very sort of different. And at least to me, I find the sense of shape in some of them very interesting. And I think it also sort of carries you through the pieces. Another thing about the work to me that is interesting is the surface texture, which you would really need to see the work in person to see the surface, but you would never say it's, acrylic or oil on canvas. It has a very, I would call it sort of a contemporary look to the surface. You would never mistake it for something else. And I think that comes about because all the work is done on mylar, and which gives a different look to it, particularly when combined with some of the mediums I use to protect the drawing. The drawing is fully protected with at least 2 isolation coats, and then there is a varnish at the end as well. And I think the work has a slight bit of an encaustic look. It doesn't look encaustic, but it's a little bit towards that. There's a little bit of a look of wax. Something else I like about the work is I think it's very different, somewhat unique. I've never seen anything quite like this that anybody's done, and to me it's really important to do work that is not derivative, that isn't something that you tend to see out out there that a lot of people are doing, and to me, I think the work is quite unique. And overall, the work gives me a feeling that is peaceful, and yet is incredibly energetic and somewhat rhythmic, like music. So it took me a long time to know why I was doing this type of work, to be honest. It's quite different than some of my other series. But I think it's been strongly influenced by the pandemic. And I think it's kind of represents in my life a sense of trying to find a balance between different things. And I really feel great about this series. I really like it. And I hope you'll come see it if you haven't, and that you will enjoy it.